Morning, everybody. This is morning where I'm at. Trying to find good little setup there. Give it about 30 seconds. We'll get started here with the show. A little bit of coffee because it is early morning where I'm at. Like early, very early. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Cue up the song. Welcome, Skype on everybody. I'm your host, Jay Lugo. I cannot sleep, so therefore I'm here. I've already first cup of coffee of the morning, and yeah, get on here and talk about a little bit of aviation. Whoever comes on. And we'll talk about anything else that you want to talk about, and just kind of go off with that. So, I guess for those that haven't seen this before, a little bit about me. I'm a helicopter flight instructor. Um, been doing that since weird. So I got my rating back in 22. I started practicing in 23, very late 23. So I guess I've been doing it since then. Um, and yeah, I've so far what we got 3 successful private passes and 1 commercial. Could have had 1 more private, but he's actually gonna um, he'll be there pretty soon. But yeah. So here's my little buddy. I guess this would be Stuart, right? Out of the minions. I like I like the minions. Or created these things. Got a genius mind. We should talk. We should really talk. I love those little things. Yeah, you'll see me kind of come up with props and things like that. Keep you guys kind of entertained. It's a full-time job, and I don't get paid for it. So, um, but yeah. So to get back to what we were just saying about the whole flight instructor deal, um, been doing that for a couple of years now, and I look forward to moving into bigger and better things here soon. Um, it's my friends at Cami decide to just go ahead and move things on. So anyhow, to kind of paint the picture of the channel, as you could see, really, content creation got pretty popular. Obviously, 2020 was the catalyst of it. Um, so I realized that I had a lot of content, and I realized that I had goals with this aviation. Um, and so what I did decide to do was pretty much there's another prop there. Pretty much to these are made by Nati, which is my girlfriend's niece. She makes this. Um, they're pretty cool. To get back into the subject, what I decided to do because I had the goals and everything. Um, so pretty much, the idea was that I was going to create content that had just kind of throughout the years, I've been taking just pictures of, different places I've gone through aviation or videos, aircraft landing, aircraft taking off, inside aircraft, things like that. When you fly, that's what ends up happening. And so I'm like, I could start this channel thing. The hardest part actually was doing this right now. Getting in front of the camera and just talking to the camera with no feedback. I can talk to people, no problem. But at first, talking to the camera was a little weird, a little, and you can see that. I mean, that's the reason you get these little, you know, it, it, human beings are pretty interesting when you get down to it. And when you instruct, um, you you start seeing things differently. So right now, what I did was, so we got Stuart sitting right there in the corner. You can't really see him, but just you got to have an audience, even though nobody's showing. You just got to have. We're really simple-minded creatures when you get down to it. But anyhow, um, I want to blog. Let's see. There you go. So, um, so yeah, that's a better cut. Hopefully, it's not too white. I should have that, in the background. Should be like the shifting background and all that good stuff. It's kind of what you see most of the bloggers do, but I don't because I shoot this in my girlfriend's office, and you can kind of tell what she does. Um, I mean, if you can't tell, look at the airplanes. So anyhow, but to get back to doing the weave, ugh, copy somebody over there. To get back to what I was kind of saying as far as the reason that the content creation kind of came about, that was really the callus of it. Just all right, well, I got goals, I got, there's things I want to do, so let me go ahead and get, pretty much when you're doing these things, you're creating yourself a visual um resume or CV, as people might have it, because then they'll see you, somebody that really wants to hire you. They'll go and be like, "Oh, I want to know about this guy." And obviously, I don't put it under my name, but if you know any, like, uh, investigative or detective or whatever you want to call it, you can figure out that this is my brand. So you go in and okay, yeah, it's a normal run of the mill person. But are we really? Is anybody even ever normal? Like, there's things that we do that we have some common ground, of course, but of course, other people, there's customs, and don't get me started. This is just, people are different. They're different. They're different across different parts of um, regions, what have you. But we have commonality. That's kind of where it gets down to I don't know, to the simplest thing, honestly, of why we can trade, we can do business, we can do all kinds of stuff together. Um, but yeah. So if you're on this far, make sure. I guess I see I have somebody watching. So if you want to kind of interact, you can kind of chat your questions, and then what I'll do is I'll just answer them. Not very sophisticated at all. Um, but anyhow, and right in where you're watching from. Well, he didn't stay that long. He's like, yeah, this guy's just, yeah, not for me. But anyways, to get down to it, I was like saying, because this is obviously recorded and I'm just gonna post it. But if you've been here this long, obviously just do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, leave a comment. That creates what they call engagement in the YouTube algorithm, and then basically, start watching, and hopefully some of the things I say kind of resonate with you. Um, the Here, I'll push this, I guess. when it comes down to um, even though I do have the what what are we calling this? Even though I do have the number of subscribers to go live, like I could literally go on my phone and go live and do all this kind of stuff. But unfortunately, when it comes down to um, goodness, can't even talk today. What when it I'm not a monetized channel, so I'm basically this is all like if you like what I'm saying, then you would obviously there's ways that you could be generous by saying yeah I like and it doesn't really have to be a big. And I hate to do it because I don't know, it kind of feels weird, but this is just how things are going. So, anyways, form of payment right there. Guess the camera will focus. There we go. So you could, if you like it, if you're into it, that's um, Cash App, I guess. There you go. That's getting it really good. You scan that on your phone, dollar two, whatever you have. I'm not picky. Um, it's just basic entertainment. And then there's on the bios and all that stuff that all that stuff is there. But I figured leave it open. If you want to do that. If you don't, you don't have to. That's the beauty of it. It's a totally. You want to do it, you do it. If you don't, you don't. If you're getting value, if you feel like you're getting value about what I say, then you do it. Which I mean, a lot of the stuff it's valuable. Like um, when I do ground, I'm actually gonna go up to $75 an hour um, for my ground stuff. Obviously, everything's getting more expensive, so I gotta keep up with the price. I know some airplanes, so I do helicopters. I'm a helicopter flight instructor, and I don't know some airplane people that do their stuff up $100 an hour. So I know some helicopter people that do their stuff at 365 an hour. So, um, but yeah, it's all good. It's all um, above board or all worth it uh, when it comes down to it. But man, these usually go easier when you have people that are interacting. But I just haven't done like I haven't done this that much. I guess when it comes down to what I am, is I'm a shorts channel. I do a lot of my videos do well in shorts. If you go in, the last one I posted, I was with um, okay, who was I? How we put this? So I worked with this person, and the situation was at that moment that my vehicle was uh, not doing so good. It really came down to some fuel injectors, but I was kind of like doing the whole carpooling thing. And so, and you can do this yourself, but I'll play a little bit for you right there. And obviously, that might get flagged because I mean that was probably short enough, but it's clearly on the um, it's clearly on the YouTube platform, so it came off the YouTube platform, and I think it allows you up to 8 seconds of airplay, um, but it might flag it with the AI and all that stuff. Now, it just if it hears anything, it might flag it. So that was kind of like not the best choice of doing. Here, here's quickly one of my babies. This is a more long style video. Um, I did this up in Sanford. So I'm just kind of skipping around. But that was me up in Sanford at the FA fasting, just kind of going off, doing Ned Parks' caution wake turbulence presentation. I thought that went pretty well. And then some of the to get back to the very beginnings of the channel, right? So when it came down to uh what you call it, the oh, I don't know, the do this. YouTube's always changing, so I can never keep up with. Okay, so oldest, yep. So when it came down to the very beginning, I think I started deleting stuff that didn't even get over 50 views. So I think that might have gotten nixed. But here's like a good one of just see, and that's got music on it. It's stock music, but anything that has music, you just got to be careful with playing because you could get a copyright strike, and then um, get yourself in trouble. Here's another one. Like
At California
that's an ad.
project is
You don't want that.
custom designed and installed.
All right, so that's the dragonfly. There you go. You can see that really good. That's me with the late Bobby Bailey. So back before, and this is YouTube music, but like I said, I don't want to mess up with nowadays. It used to be people that would monitor this and they would know, but the AI just it doesn't know, so it might just flag it, and then and yeah, it wouldn't be so good. So, but let's see. Um, 4 year. Oh, check this one out. I bet there's no music here. See, just roll out of bed in a very different setting. They, they, there it was. See, very different setting, very different place, messy hair, uh, tattoos, but kind of the same stuff going on. And you might say, "Oh, you gotten better," or "Oh man, just stay off the life," But who knows? There's been a lot of change since I got into this whole flying helicopter business. I did come from the fire service. About 12 years as a municipal firefighter, and that was fun. But eventually get to a point where um, your brain just needs a change, and I needed it, especially around 2020. So I went ahead and did that, finished flight school. But I stay in touch with people from the fire service, people that have just retired. Actually, just met uh, Steven. It's one of my colleagues from over there. We just met up. We had a little breakfast the other day. He does that Raising Alphas project, and so we're just just trying to come up with some ideas, of how to basically collaborate, move on, just do creative stuff. When it comes to all the all the things that come with content creation. And I was getting some tips and advice and what have you. Um, so yeah, they're without letting too much out of the bag, um, get myself in trouble. But um, when it came down to just, I mean, you got to be able, if you're a content creator, you got to be able to eh, watch a lot of the stuff just to see, hey, what's everybody doing? Keep up with it. You're entitled to do your own thing, but I mean, you gotta kind of go with what works, um, and don't lose focus of what why you're doing it. Like me, for example, I know that my main thing is aviation, so you definitely catch me at the seminars, safety seminars, and shout out to the FAC, I guess. Tony and the Amazing Joe, and these people. We somehow stumbled upon an event um, at Titusville on um, when was it? I think it was Friday. Um, Girlfriend, I just kind of drug her to it. She's, as you can see, she's a professional. Like flies the big stuff, and and you know. Uh, Does she benefit? Yeah, she definitely benefits from it, and that's why I drag her to these things. Um, but she's taking her own time to kind of go, so very commendable. But these people, they had like commit over the weekend. I guess they all get together. They're from South Florida. They were getting together up in Titusville, and then just talking aviation safety and sure swapping some war stories and stuff and some camaraderie and stuff was going on. So pretty cool. And then somehow we signed up to their private event and they were cool enough to say, hey, join us and what have you, and then offer us if we consider membership and stuff. Which I mean, if I lived in South Florida, I would definitely do it. But you know, definitely shout out to Tony and the amazing Joe that lives up in think he's at somewhere in Titusville. He flies a Magnus, one of these experimental um, type aircraft there. Um, but yeah, some interesting people, and I'm glad that there's been a lot of these seminars, and they seminars are usually full. They used to be just people wouldn't go to them, but now people have gotten smart and they understand that aviation, a lot of it's networking. So um, yeah, so the next one we're doing hangar talk, so hopefully everybody gets to join up on that here at exec on the 4th. Um, and you can find these if you go to FAA safety and just kind of type in. I mean, I know there's people that live in Georgia, Alabama, um, heck, I don't know, California. Uh, you can go to FAA safety, sign up. It's a free profile that you can do, and just basically get yourself into the right side with the FAA. Like how my FAA safe journey started was I had a buddy Jimmy, and Jimmy used to work for the fire department. He flew helicopters, and so here we are. I'm sitting there with talking to Jimmy, and he's telling me that situation. He had some clients on board, and I don't know, they were doing some sort of survey, and he kind of came in, and there was a situation that happened with the fuel, and just got a little nervous enough that he got on the radio saying he was in fuel, and landed and what have you, and then FAA inspector came out and just basically talked to him a little bit, and then want to see some documents here, it's the standard stuff that you're supposed to have. Um, So, anyways, he said, "Hey, she seemed to be a good, good fella, and that this is the difference of the enforcement versus the compliance. FAA used to be just a big enforcer. Now they're just like they're more into the compliance side of the house, and hopefully they stay that. Even with there's a lot of changes when it comes down. This is not by no means is this the political channel, so I try to steer clear of politics one way or the other. Um, but so So hopefully it stays a compliance type deal. But anyhow, they gave Jimmy some courses to do through FAA safety, and here we are talking. And I realized, like, oh, okay, well, I mean, it's remedial, right? And I'm like, I could have gone the whole other attitude with it, like, oh, well, I didn't need to do that because I'm not in trouble like you. But I went the more preventative, type attitude where I was like, you know, that might not be a bad thing to do because if I get myself in a bind, like, and then before you know it, uh, they start becoming more popular, more interactive. We're having more fun, and I'm like, yeah, this is good. You go to them. For example, so I was in South Carolina, and FAA showed up to my workplace to do a ramp check. Yes, we didn't have a ramp, we have pads, but they showed up, and I kind of took that same attitude with it. I stayed active with it up there, and so he asked me for the required documentation that you're supposed to have as a pilot, anyways. So I showed him that, and then I showed him that, hey, and I know some of the people. I'm in the FAA safety team, and yada yada yada. And before we knew it, he's like, "Oh, I won't get into the way of your business here. You have, unless you have anything for me, I'm good to go. I seen what I need to see." And I got to move on, and I found the person to be very professional, and I just kind of went on with my tour stuff as I was before. So nothing to be afraid of. If you're doing the right thing, it's not gonna be a big deal. You know, um, just just do what you're supposed to do. Go to these safety seminars. Make the right choices. God, I don't know. Like, I have people that they own their own aircraft and they're in remote places, and they're like, oh, well, it's like, you think it'd be a good idea if I can't sleep? You think it could be a good idea to take this helicopter off, like, this very dark place? And like, no, I think it'd be a very good idea for you to, if you can't sleep, yeah, get out there maybe 5 o'clock and start pre-flight. Just look at everything, get it all ready, and as soon as the day starts to break, you start it up and you're remote, and you just get going, and but to have some light, have some, unless you really have to, you don't really want to be in a helicopter at night when you can't see stuff. And to get down to that point of it, there's no reason, even though helicopters fly low, you can fly, I don't know, uh, 500 feet off the ground or what have you. You don't have to fly that low. The other day I was driving, and it was local area, and there was I think I was coming from a seminar or what have you. I saw a UH-72 Lakota, which that's pretty much the H-145, the Airbus 145 variant. And you see they were taking off, and they they made a left turn. And when I saw that guy again, he was at 2,000 feet, and that's good because at 2,000 feet, now granted, he's got to with the H-145 or um, UH-72 is what the Army calls it. With that equipment, it's got two turbines in there, and motors, whatever you want to call them, engines. So it's a very redundant system. But if he has to auto rotate, Murphy's always working overtime, as my girlfriend likes to say. And if he has to make an auto rotation, I'm telling you, it's going to come a lot better if you're coming off of over 2,000, almost 3,000 feet. You got time. You can pick your spot. You know where you want to go. Whereas you're at 500 feet, and you got seconds to decide of oh this. I mean, this is where we have to go. So you always want to be thinking about that when you're in a helicopter. Just think about, okay, where, you know, what are we gonna do? What's gonna, if we have an engine failure, how is that gonna feel? How, uh, look, listen, feel kind of deal. I'm taking my concepts from EMS, just trying to apply it to this whole flying, which they do relate. If you think you're in the cockpit, you see a light. Okay, yeah, that should be an indication. But remember, you should also hear noises, vibrations, things like that. The aircraft's going to talk to you. It's just you gotta be out there trying to listen to some of that stuff. Um, Whereas if you are not paying attention to what's going on, and another prop, I'm getting bored here. Um, Probably because I probably should end up the thing, but that's girlfriend had those made. Uh, and Yeah, so nobody's on. I guess this is now I'm just at this point where I feel like I'm rambling. But this is pretty long, so whoever sits through it, my goodness, they must really want to learn some stuff. But yeah, we'll just kind of wrap this one up. Seeing that I'll just kind of put it go live, and hopefully somebody watches it. Most of the time, I don't think these get watched. That's why I'm trying to do the whole collaboration aspect. But if you're that lonely, bored soul, just and you feel like, oh, you know, um, there was definitely some effort or what have you. Here, I'll give you another option too. Now, this is funny. This came from the tours that I used to do or what have you. Um, so pretty much the just ways to tip pilots. Like if they're doing the commercial operation stuff, instructors don't get tipped that much, which is unfortunate. I mean, students, if they know anything, maybe they'll go, oh, like take you out to lunch or what have you. And but anyways, here I'll do that one too. It's getting nice and focused. And like I said, this is not, yeah, you're not obligated to do that. It's just a kindness if you want to donate or what have you. If you're stuck around this long and saw it, maybe, or if the AI just has extra money and they want to just put it somewhere, you can throw it there. But anyways, we'll just wrap this one up. This has been Jay Lugo for Skybomb signing out. Y'all take care. Have a good one. Little Stewart says goodbye. Um, be safe out there, doing whatever it is that everybody does. All right. Take care.